these 3 rules. If you take caution, you can prevent a fire.
The number one cause of fire in winter are electric blankets. Take special caution with highly flammable materials such as memory foam, toppers, and bedding.
Number 2, having too many appliances on the power outlet is dangerous. Always unplug all the appliances that you're not currently using.
Number 3, check the heater is off before leaving the house. Leaving it on for an extended period of time can cause a fire.
Let's all take part in preventing fire and have warm and safe winter this year.
Tune in to BEFM 부산영어방송 for an emergency broadcast.
This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산영어방송.
Welcome to Busan. Let me show you around. Here you can find the world's largest musical in-ground fountain and the world's only UN memorial cemetery. Stroll along the coast and explore the largest mountain fortress in Korea. As well as all this, there are so many tourist attractions, beautiful exhibitions, vibrant culture, convenient facilities, and delicious foods unique to Busan. With all the beauty and charm of the amazing city of Busan, you'll find yourself right at home in this ever-changing tourism paradise. So stay with us a while. Busan, your number 1 tourist destination. Your home, away from home. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
지금 방송 광고라는 부메랑을 던져보세요. 소비자를 향해 정확히 날아가는 광고. 힘차게 돌아가는 경제. 부메랑처럼 다시 기업의 이익으로 되돌아오니까요. 방송 광고, 경제에 큰 힘이 됩니다. 부산 방송광고 발전 협의회.
The time is now 2 o'clock.
Welcome to BFM News at 2. I'm David Kim. The National Intelligence Service (NIS) of South Korea currently views Kim Joo-ae, the daughter of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, as his most likely successor. In a written statement, the new NIS director nominee Jo Tae-young based his assessment on an extensive evaluation of the daughter's public appearances and the respect shown to her. This marks the first occasion on which South Korea's intelligence agency has publicly identified Kim Joo-ae as the probable next leader. However, Jo noted that the situation is closely monitored, considering the North Korean leader is relatively young and appears to be in good health along with other factors. Kim Jong-un is believed to have another child besides Joo-ae, born in 2013, though the gender is not known. South Korea and the United States recently conducted a joint live-fire drill near the North Korean border to enhance their combined military preparedness, as announced by the Army on Thursday. The exercise involved the South Korea's capital Mechanized Infantry Division and the U.S. 2nd Infantry Division Stryker Brigade Combat Team. Conducted in Pocheon, the training began on December the 29th and is scheduled to conclude on Friday. This first joint exercise of the year was designed to strengthen the Allies' operational effectiveness in response to military threats from North Korea, according to the Army. In local news, the Busan Metropolitan City hosted the 4th Communication Innovation Meeting of the 8th popularly elected government at the Busan International Finance Center, or BIFC. At the meeting, Busan City Planning Officer Lee Gyu-deok explained the future plans and city management directions for the enactment of the Global Hub City Special Act. Nam Jung-eun, the head of Busan City's Youth Industry Academic Cooperation, presented the direction for establishing a Busan-type model related to the selection of a pilot operation for the Education Development Special Zone and discussed collaboration methods. The Education Office has declared 2024 as the year to provide tailored education and care services, aiming to educate all children in Busan with the participation of the entire community. It announced this year's key education policy blueprint, focusing on the expansion of tailored education. They have set three major tasks: strengthening public education to nurture local talent in Busan, creating schools that consider everyone, and schools dedicated to education. They plan to create living conditions in Busan that prevent education-related departures by promoting special educational zones. In international news, former U.S. President Donald Trump has requested the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn a Colorado court ruling that disqualifies him from running for president in that state, citing his involvement in the U.S. Capitol riot as insurrection. This appeal follows a similar challenge in Maine. Numerous lawsuits in various states aim to prevent Trump from appearing on the November 2024 ballot. While courts in Minnesota and Michigan have rejected such attempts, litigation is ongoing in other states like Oregon. A Supreme Court decision would have a nationwide impact. Trump has been removed from ballots in Maine and Colorado due to allegations of inciting the Capitol riot. As of Wednesday, the number of fatalities from the 7.6 magnitude earthquake that struck Japan's Ishikawa prefecture on Monday has reached 62. Reported by Kyodo News, authorities in Ishikawa have confirmed the death of at least 62 individuals as of midnight Wednesday, with over 130 people injured. Media in the region indicate that the death toll may continue to rise due to extensive damage, including collapsed buildings and impassable roads in the affected area. And now taking a look at the weather here, it's currently 12 degrees Celsius under clear skies. Fine dust levels are good, while the ultrafine dust particle levels are rated normal. And that'll have to do it for this hour's news. Thank you for joining us. You're listening to BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Coming up next is Steve Hatherly Reboot. BEFM Busan 영어방송.
What you're about to hear is amazing. That's because you're locked in to Busan's #1 English radio station. Whether you're at home, at work, or driving in your car, you will be exposed to radio excellence. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show because it starts right now.
Some people care about fashion more than others, but I do think it's safe to say that we all want to look good. Nobody wakes up in the morning, gets ready for work, and says, "Oh, this is perfect. I look terrible." But what looks good is dictated by both our personal style, but also what's trendy in society at the time. But those trends change, of course, and what's trendy now may not have been trendy 50 or even 100 or even 200 years ago. And today, on the show, we're going to learn what used to be the hot look from societies of days gone by. It's Thursday, January 4th, 2024. I'm Steve Hatherly. This is Steve Hatherly Reboot. Let's go. That was Giant Rooks, Somebody Like You, and that is a German indie rock band that elaborated on this uplifting song in a statement by saying, "We wrote that in just a few hours in our rehearsal room. Playing and writing together as a band releases this special energy, and we tried to capture that feeling on the record. Lyrically, we wanted to explore a vignette form of songwriting, telling different stories of different characters in each verse, something that we've never done before." And as I was, looking at that information and thinking about artists who write songs, and we hear it a lot, don't we? I say this a lot on the show. I read quotes from artists who say, "Oh, I wrote that song in 10 minutes." Or another singer might say, "Yeah, I wrote that song in the bus in like 1 hour." And I was thinking, if we compare that to other forms of art, music writing seems to be the easiest of all of them. You never hear an author say, "Oh, yeah, I wrote this novel in 15 minutes. No, a novel takes months, if not years, to write. You never hear a painter say, "Yeah, I mean, this painting, it only took me about 10 minutes. Once I just got the inspiration and then it was done." A movie, directors and actors never say, "Oh, yeah, we shot the film in an hour." Never, right? But singers will often say, not always, but often say, "Yeah, I wrote that in 10 minutes. And it makes me think, that's not fair, is it? But I guess other things take longer. Some things take longer than others. And sometimes when that artistic juice is flowing through you, then a song can come out really quickly. It kind of never occurred to me before, though, to compare it to other forms of art. Thinking about the times it takes to create. Yeah, shortest one is music, I think. You can disagree with me. Let me know if you can think of a shorter one. Anyway, fun song from Giant Rooks to get us into the show today. Somebody Like You. I am live in the studio from Busan on this Thursday afternoon. Welcome to the show, everyone. You're tuned in on BEFM 90.5 in Busan and 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Jongwon, and Noksan areas in Seoul, on TBS EFM 101.3 and in Gwangju on GFN 98.7. Thank you very much for being with us today. I am your host, Steve Hatherly. Go on over to YouTube. You could watch our live stream there. Go to youtube.com and search BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. That's how you'll find our live stream. You can watch our live stream until the songs start to play. When they start to play, they will fade out almost immediately, and that is because of music copyright issues. So we ask you to open up your BEFM app, or you can listen to the music, of course, through FM radio as well. When the songs are finished, then you can start watching the live stream again. Thank you for your patience and understanding while that is happening. Hopefully at some point this year, who knows, I don't know when, but I hope, and we all hope, that that gets itself sorted out. All right, coming up on the show this afternoon, we will kick things off with Hot Off the Press, where you'll hear some trendy music that has been newly released. I'll give you a bit about the artists and a bit about the music as well. After that, it's Thursday. By the way, does it feel like this week is going by? I know we had the holiday on Monday, right? But we had it the previous week as well. And this week feels like it's flying by even faster than the previous weeks. Anyway, just my perception, perhaps. Yes, Cheryl will be here in about 15, 20 minutes time for today's Parenting 101, where she will be introducing some news about childcare and parenting in general. And we'll be listening to her experiences of raising her daughter as well. Hour number 2. All right, this is where we're going to go old school fashion for our fun fact of the day. I have never heard of this before, but in Japan, and by the way, we're not talking about the 1950s, 1940s. No, we're not talking about fashion trends from that time. We're going way, 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 way back. In Japan, have you ever heard of this before? Black teeth used to be fashionable. People would make their teeth black on purpose, and I'll tell you how they did that when we get to our fun fact of the day. But they would use a mixture, and they would rub it on their teeth to make their teeth black. Napidi, have you ever heard of this before? This is way back in Japanese history. Napidi said, "Yeah, I think that rings a bell." I've never heard of that before. Maybe you haven't either, and I'll share that with you for our fun fact of the day. Then for Hatherly's Hather List, we'll continue on with that theme of strange fashion trends from throughout history. There was a time in history, this one made me laugh. I remember from looking at the list last night. There was a time in history when people didn't care whether men had a six-pack or not. A six-pack, I'm talking about your stomach, right? Where your muscles look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've never had one of those before. I don't know what that feels like. You know, I read an article once, and it was this guy, and I think he was around 35, 36 years old, and he went on this kind of 6-month journey at the gym with his diet to get a six-pack. He said he had never had one before. He was a married guy. He had never had one before, and he wanted to do it. He wanted to accomplish it for his wife because he knew that he would look really sexy to her. And he said it was really difficult, you know, all those hours in the gym, but even more difficult was maintaining the necessary diet. He cut out beer. He cut out all kind of sugars that he could control. The eating times, he said he wouldn't eat after 8 p.m. at night or 7 p.m. at night, something like that. He said it was really, really hard. And then finally, he got his six-pack. And for the first month, his wife was like, "Oh my gosh, you are super hot." And he was really proud. And then the second month, his wife said, "Oh, you are super hot." And he was really proud. And then the third month, she didn't care. And he said, "Why did I go through that 6 months of absolute nightmare diet and nightmare gym routine for just 2 months of my wife looking at me like I deserve to be on the cover of a magazine, and now she doesn't even care anymore?" When I read that, I had completely given up on my dream of getting a six-pack. I thought, no, not going to be worth it. Anyway, that just popped into my mind. Yes, there was a time in history when it wasn't the men's six-pack that was so desirable. It used to be calf muscles. Yes, it was in England. Calf muscles used to be all the rage. So if you were a man with big calves, oh, you were popular with the ladies back then. See what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. We're going to go through history and find out some of the more unique things that used to be attractive or used to be fashionable. It's a pretty fun list to look at. That'll be Hatherly's Hather List today. After that, we'll have Perfect Playlist, the best songs for every situation. Songs for January this week, right? That's our theme. We'll continue on with that theme today. And I, of course, will check your messages throughout the program as well. All right, question of the day today. Here's what I want to know. Now, people tend to, I think, get stuck in their fashion ways. My father, I saw a picture of him from the 1970s, and I kind of laughed because he had exactly, and I don't mean like similar, no, I mean exactly the same hairstyle in 1972 as he did in the 1990s. And I said, I looked at the picture, and then I looked at my dad, and then I looked at the picture, and then I looked at my dad, and I said, "Your hair is exactly the same." He said, "Oh, yeah, it's always the same." I said, you've never changed your hairstyle? Like you've never grown it long or changed the color or anything?" He said, "Nope." So my dad has had the same hairstyle his entire life. This is my point. People get stuck in their fashion ways. But for 2024, if you think about it, and maybe you've not thought about it, but if you do think about it, what is one fashion change that you would like to make in 2024? And this could be related to your hair. Maybe you want to grow your hair longer. Maybe you want to cut it really short. Maybe you want to change your hair color. I tried that once. It was not successful. I went blonde, full blonde. Oh, that was not good. But I tried. Maybe you want to go more extreme, pink, purple, something like that. It could be accessory related. Maybe you want to get an ear piercing or a tattoo. Have you ever thought about getting a tattoo? It could be anything like that. Accessory related, anything fashion related, makes no difference. All good for an answer today. So what is one fashion change that you want to make in 2024? And if you've thought about getting a tattoo, let me know.
What? What would you get? Well, maybe that's a fun question too. 만약에, if you got a tattoo, what would you get? Anyway, you can answer that way as well. 2024년 여러분의 패션 중에서 바꾸고 싶은 것 하나는 무엇인가요? Text me your answers, # 9050. That will cost you 100 won. Add us on Kakao Talk for free and send messages for free by searching BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. Same search on your smartphone. You can download the app from any of the app stores. Then you can listen to our programs there and leave us a comment after logging in. That's all the information I think you need for right now. We'll have a break, and when we come back, we'll check out today's Hot Off the Press. Here is Lauren Spencer Smith, Fantasy. That was Lauren Spencer Smith with Fantasy. We're back, and it's time for today's Hot Off the Press, where from Monday to Friday, we bring you two of the newest, hottest tracks from the world of music. And a lot of songs get released every week, but we choose a couple each day that we hope that you'll enjoy. We'll start today with Take Van's new song, Born for This. Fresh out of South Florida, she began making her own music at the age of 17 after dropping out of high school. Almost a year later, she released the first EP titled Journey in December of 2019. Then, in February of 2020, she started to gain a following on a short-form social media platform and was able to intertwine her music to her internet personality-based videos. House. Kind of a cool story, right? In 2021, she had several songs gain over 5 million views online on different social media platforms. Take Van is currently based in LA, working on the future of dance and rave music for generations to come. Cool story. After that, the Chainsmokers have a new track. This is called Summertime Friends Winter Version. Grammy award-winning artist and producer duo The Chainsmokers released 2 new tracks last month. 2 songs are Summertime Friends and the other one is Think of Us. This exclusive 2-track bundle, it's a testament to the duo's unwavering commitment to their fans and to their craft. In an era where digital music often lacks a personal touch, the Chainsmokers bring us into their world, inviting us into the living room of their rental house, which is apparently where they make their music, which is also very cool. All right, here we go with our 2 tracks for Hot Off the Press today. The new one from Take Van, Born for This, and then the Chainsmokers' Summertime Friends Winter Version. Those were our two tracks for Hot Off the Press today. The Chainsmokers' Summertime Friends winter version, and before that, Take Van, Born for This. My question for you today, I want to know, in 2024, what is one change that you want to make to your fashion or to your appearance? 2024년 여러분의 패션 중에서 바꾸고 싶은 것 하나는 무엇인가요? Neil님 says, I want to find a nice hair salon or a men's skin clinic. These days, I feel like men should manage themselves. I can talk about that. I'll come back to this message in hour number 2. I am big into the facial skin routine thing. Oh, yeah. Toner. Yeah, masks, all of it. I got super into it a few years ago. And even at the skin clinic, I used to ask the doctor, like, oh, what can I do this week? What can I do that week? I've got some advice for you as well. I didn't hear it from the doctor at the skin clinic myself, but my friend, who's even more obsessed than I am, his doctor gave him some advice about going to the clinic for facials. And when I heard that, I thought, ooh, that's good to know. I'll share that with you. I'll come back to that message in the second hour. Donghyun-nim says, get rid of my love handles. Yeah. I don't have the love handles. I have the belly. And my wife always teases me about my belly. She rubs it for good luck, like I'm a Buddha or a genie. And she also asks me constantly, oh, Oppa, did you just eat a whole chicken right now, like just a moment ago? This is not fair. I cannot ask you these types of questions. That would be considered rude, but you can. But that's the way it is. Anyway, if she likes it, I like it. I'm okay with it. Yeah, love handles, though. I guess burning more calories, that's not easy, though. Good luck with that, Donghyun-nim. I hope you can accomplish that goal. That's our question today. What do you want to do to change your fashion or change your appearance in 2024? One more time, 2024년 여러분의 패션 중에서 바꾸고 싶은 것 하나는 무엇인가요? Text me, #9050. That will cost you 101. Add us on Kakao Talk for free and send messages for free by searching BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. Same search on your smartphone. You can download the app from any of the app stores. You can listen to our programs there and leave us a comment after logging in. Parenting 101 time. What do you think about that, Cheryl? It's not fair that my wife gets to tease me about my belly on a daily basis. But men can't say anything to their wives like that. That would be very dangerous to do.
I don't know. I think if you say it kindly, in jest.
No, I would never. My wife doesn't really have a belly. That's not the point. The point is, it's equality. Anyway, I'm teasing, of course. How you doing this week, Cheryl?
I'm good. So good.
If you want to change something about your fashion or your appearance in 2024, what would that be? But you've already made your change.
Well, I've made a change. I got my hair cut today.
Yeah.
I've got the summer shortcut.
The summer do.
Going, yeah.
Very nice. Is that something that you do every winter, ironically?
Not in the winter. I do it every summer because I'm in the water so much that I just want to have the hair wet and just go and not have to worry about doing anything with it.
Is that a big deal for you when you cut maybe an inch or two off your hair? Does it feel completely different on your head?
It does. It feels so much lighter.
So much better then.
No, I don't brush my hair very often, actually.
Yeah. Straight into the ponytail?
Yeah, straight into the ponytail, finger comb.
Nice.
But it has been going grey. So I was actually thinking of maybe doing something extreme with the color.
Like dye your hair?
Yeah.
What color are you thinking?
I was actually thinking pink.
Full on
purple.
pink.
Yeah,
Nice.
because I want something that's going to cover the gray. So I was thinking like a light pink or something.
So like a full pink or just like streaks of pink?
I think if the hairstylist can just find the grey bits and put them pink, that'd be good.
Oh, right on.
Maybe I'll give that a go.
Very cool idea. I think that would look fun.
I think so. Maybe next week.
Yeah, give it a go. Why not? Why not? Napidi. Should we go together? We'll all get the team pink streaks in our hair. I tried blonde highlights once. That was a disaster. I think I'm done with highlighting my hair in my life. It is time for Parenting 101. Cheryl's here to introduce some news about childcare, parenting in general, also sprinkling in her own experiences of raising her daughter as well. What's our topic today?
So topic today we'll be continuing our talk about staycation ideas for this winter vacation.
Yeah, the winter vacation now has officially begun, right?
It's officially begun for elementary, and a lot of middle schools are starting from today.
Oh, very good. The kids are super excited then. So last week we talked about, let's see if I can remember, movie marathons. You talked about that. Going skiing. I learned last week that there's a place to go skiing and sledding just outside, well, within the city limits here in Busan, but just away from the downtown area. Museums. What else did you talk about? Oh, painting the nails like a home spa day. Yeah. So what's next on your list then?
So next on the list is actually a visit to the library. If it's cold and you want to get out of the house, the library is a great destination. Kids can read books. There are usually some cafes nearby, and some libraries have winter vacation programs.
Like what kind of winter vacation programs?
Just study programs, some kind of reading program, art programs.
What if your child doesn't like to read? That's probably going to be a challenge to convince them to go to the library. I mean, convincing any student maybe to go to the library during a school vacation time might be a challenge.
It is, but a lot of schools actually have reading lists as part of the winter vacation homework. So the kids might have no choice and might have to go to the library after all.
Fair point. And also, like, read the book and then write a little report about it as well.
Exactly.
Yep. Very good. Yeah, it's a nice way to keep your kids under control, too, right? Because the library has rules. You got to be quiet in the library. So go in there for a couple of hours to read a book. And you can do that. You can do that together with your kids, too.
Yeah, and the district libraries are huge. They're really big.
Does your daughter go to the library during vacation time?
Not so much.
Yeah, right. This is advice for other parents. She's grown out of the library because there is a time, right, where children... Maybe it's before they become like cool or something, you know, but I feel like there's a time when kids get excited about going to the library to read.
Oh, yeah. Kindergarten, early elementary school.
Right?
Yeah, they're keen to go.
Yeah, they love reading. They can't wait for story time at night before they go to sleep. What happens there? Why do they grow out of that?
I have no idea. I think it's got to do with the screens nowadays. I think it was different for us.
Yeah.
Because we read through our life. There was no screen, so we read.
I mean, we had television, but that was not the same at all. You couldn't carry your television into your bedroom, lay in bed, and scroll down your television screen
to
see what your friends were doing.
And there were, 3 channels?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so library for some, maybe not for others. What about something for more active children?
So the next idea is to actually go swimming. And I know this isn't the most popular idea in the winter, but it's a really good time for kids to learn how to swim so they'll be ready for the beach come summer.
Are you talking about like going swimming in the ocean, or are you talking about community swimming pools?
No, in the community swimming pools. A lot of them have swim programs for kids, and also they have drop-ins. So it's a fantastic time to get the kids in the water.
Yeah, I took swimming lessons when I was a kid. It's quite a common thing, I think, for Canadian children, perhaps children from other countries, to take swimming lessons.
Yeah.
Maybe not as common here in Korea. I've met a lot of people who say that they can't really swim that well. But yeah, regardless of whether their friends are doing it or not, swimming lesson. If they don't know how, taking swimming lessons, but even if they do know how, taking it to the next level is a really cool thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
And who knows, they might have interest in becoming a lifeguard later, so becoming a better swimmer is never a bad idea.
I know, it's a life skill for sure.
Absolutely. Your daughter is surfing in the wintertime too, so I guess an indoor pool may be a little bit boring for her.
It's definitely warmer.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's the major advantage, right?
Yeah, but her coach has like the winter suits and everything. So he's got about a team of 10 kids and they surf all through the winter. They did the sunrise training.
Oh,
January 1st.
How did that go, by the way?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah?
So good. The waves were huge and it was really warm. Really warm that day. So it was great.
They didn't even have to fight against the cold.
No boots, no gloves, just a 5 mil suit.
Oh,
they had
wow.
such a good time until the coach said, don't move until the sun comes up.
Okay. And then they had to sit and wait.
And then they had to sit in the cold water and wait for the sun to come up.
And then catch that first wave of 2024.
Exactly.
That's awesome. All right. Today in Parenting 101 with Cheryl, we're doing a part 2 of winter vacation activities for your kids. A lot of the kids are already on vacation, but for some, they're even starting today, which is exciting for the children, I'm sure. And that's why we're doing this, to get you a list of things to do to keep your kids occupied whilst they are on vacation. More coming up with Cheryl after this. Here's Sarah, Best Friend. Winter vacation activities for the kids, but more for the parents, actually, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's what we're doing a part 2 of today with Cheryl in Parenting 101. Before the break, some swimming activities, community pools all over the place, really, right?
It's really gotten more popular in recent years.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so convenient to get to the community. It's a community center. It's really affordable as well. It's not expensive. And then you can try to find times in the day where it's not as busy, right? Okay, what else is on your list?
So the next idea for active kids is to go for a hike. Busan has some excellent hiking trails, and as long as everyone's dressed properly, it's a really fun day out.
Yeah, I guess you can pack a picnic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the hiking trail on the mountain in Gumyeonsan is really good. There's a youth training center on the mountain with an obstacle course that my daughter loves. Huge playground. There's a football pitch up there. It's so easy to make a day out of a hike on the mountains.
That's up the mountain.
That is up the mountain.
How high up the mountain do you have to go to get to all that fun stuff?
About halfway. It's not really tough to get up there. And if you don't want to hike, but you do want to enjoy the playground and obstacle course, you can actually drive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You don't have to hike. You can park your car up there.
Exactly. So if you've got really young ones with little legs that don't want to climb, you can drive up.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so those are some outdoor activities. What about more indoor activities for families?
So for indoor, you can have a craft day. So if your child likes to do crafts, it can keep them busy for hours, painting, drawing, making jewelry, collages. The possibilities are absolutely endless. Once they have the supplies, their creativity and imagination just take over.
Yeah, just give them a box of crayons or some paints and canvas, and just say, here, whatever comes out of you artistically.
For some kids, the Christmas boxes.
Yeah, that's true.
You can turn them into something.
That's true. Yeah, you could use whatever you have in your house that you were planning on putting out in the recycling and try to turn it into some sort of art, right? Have you ever taken any kind of art or painting classes before?
I just like high school, elementary school, stuff like that.
In Korean elementary schools, is that a thing, like art class? That wasn't a thing in Canada when I was growing up.
Yeah, my daughter takes art classes in elementary school.
That's
it's part of the
awesome.
curriculum.
Yeah, in Canada, I was never given the opportunity. We didn't have any classes like that.
Really?
No, we had home ec. Home economics or woodworking.
We had that too.
Right? So we were given the choices of home ec or woodworking. And home economics is like sewing and baking and things like that. And then it was woodworking and metal. So I chose the woodworking and metal because of social pressure, because every boy took the woodworking and metal classes. I was honestly more interested in the baking. I was more interested in learning how to cook, but I didn't feel confident enough to say, well, I'm going to go, because all the girls went there, but no boys went there. Now, remember, this is the 1980s. So I just went to the woodworking and metal class, and I hated it. And I remember the metal class project, we had to make a basketball hoop, right? And, we had to use like all these hot torches and these heavy metal things. And my basketball hoop was not a perfect circle. It was more shaped like an egg. So the ball could only go in there at a very, very specific angle. So my score wasn't very good at all. I really regretted that. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't say anything to my teachers, but I remember I wanted to take the baking class.
Oh, you should have done.
I know. It was a different time. Now, of course, I would say that. Art activities in the house. That's a good idea, too. Okay, what else?
So these days, a lot of indoor rock climbing gyms have opened. So that's also a fun activity to do as a family. It's a bit warmer than the next recommended activity, which is to go ice skating.
Oh, yes. Well, I grew up playing ice hockey, so I would absolutely recommend this. How are your skating skills?
Not bad, actually. Not bad. I can skate.
Did you take lessons or just kind of by going out and trying it and then just improving?
No, I just jumped on the rink.
Yeah.
My daughter took speed skating lessons when she was younger.
Really?
She did, yeah.
Did she take to it? Did she enjoy it?
Oh, she's really good.
Really?
Really, really good.
Huh.
Yeah.
So summertime surfing and then wintertime surfing. But did you ever consider like encouraging her to pursue speed skating? Because in Korea, you can become pretty famous if you get good at it.
No.
Yeah. She didn't like it to that level.
She enjoyed it, but yeah, she wants to be a pro surfer.
Gotcha.
So we'll put her on that route for now.
But you're right, though. I mean, going for a skate together is a fun thing to do. I'm not sure if they have indoor or outdoor spots in Busan.
Busan's indoor.
Okay.
Yeah, there are quite a few indoor rinks scattered throughout the city.
Well, actually, in my new neighborhood, I saw a sign that said ice rink. and I thought,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look like a full stadium, so I didn't go in yet, but I don't know
I
what
know
it is.
the one you're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
It's not huge, but it's a good size. It's a little bit old. It's on like the second or third floor of the building.
Oh, okay, so it's good for a fun little family skate? Oh,
yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, take the kids for a skate. Even if none of you know how to skate,
It's still a good time.
still fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can get some humor in there about
Exactly.
everybody falling all over the place. Yeah.
Don't take your phone in.
Yeah, cracked screens everywhere. Okay, we have time for maybe one or two more.
So next is to have a family games tournament. It's a good way to spend time as a family and off devices.
Okay, yeah. I
Most
like it.
families have board games gathering dust somewhere, so
Yes.
it's perfect time to dust them off.
What's your family's favorite board game to play together?
None. My daughter cheats.
Oh, like my grandfather used to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
She cheats at every game she plays.
She does. She says she doesn't, but she does.
Oh, okay.
It's on public record now.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, still a good idea though. And there's so many different board games out there. Yeah, I mean, you could even use it to improve your language skills.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? If your child is studying English, then perhaps, buying an English board game, and then you could make like the little family rule. Okay, everybody, when we play this game, it's time to speak English, or just something like that.
Yeah.
I've always said that to parents who have asked me how they can encourage their children to speak English in the house more. And I've always said, do it as a family.
Yeah.
And don't make it like this weird study thing that they have to do. Just say, okay, it's time for English for an hour, and I'm going to try too. So we're all in this together type thing. Yeah. So you could use a board game as kind of a buffer
Absolutely.
between the language and the learning. Okay, one last one then.
One last one. This one was really interesting. The next is a roulette adventure.
What's a roulette adventure?
So this recommendation was that everyone in the family writes down a few things they want to do during vacation on strips of paper. And everything gets put in a jar. And a few times a week or once a week, you choose 2 or 3 strips from the jar.
Okay.
So it gives everybody a say in what the family does and kind of shakes up the everyday routine.
Yeah, right. So are they reaching into a jar and they can't see what they're...
Exactly. Everything's folded up so nobody can see.
So whatever activity is chosen, that's what they're doing.
Exactly.
For the day.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Have you tried this one before?
I've not tried it, but I think it might be something that I'll give a go this winter.
I think that this is a good idea for like a staycation, like we're talking about. But I think this might be a good idea for a trip overseas as well, right?
That's what I'm thinking. I'll use it for that.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Like when you maybe even before you go there, as a family, you can look up which activities you're planning on doing, and then just when you get there, put them in a little bowl with a piece of papers all crumpled up, and then choose each day. Okay, here's what we're doing. You can let the kids choose so they feel involved. Yeah, that sounds...
And you can set cost parameters as well if, you want to keep it on the cheap.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, my friend and I did this, actually, when we went to the Philippines. 2 grown men. We did this. And in the Philippines, you have your activities like bungee jumping, parasailing, paragliding, and jet skis. And then the day we decided to do this, he chose bungee jumping, and we both looked at it like, no. And then I chose parasailing, and we were both like, no. And then finally we chose jet skis, and we were like, oh, looks like we're going jet skiing. We totally cheated as well. Your daughter and I would be good friends, I'm sure. All right, Cheryl, thank you so much. Have yourself a really delightful week, and we'll see you again next time.
See you next time.
Bye, Cheryl.
Bye.
Stay with us for hour number 2. Zoe Wees to finish the first, Third Wheel.
BEFM 부산 영어방송.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Hi everyone, I'm Catherine from Morning Wave in Busan. Do you turn into a hideous monster every time you're behind the wheel? Feeling a little guilty? Well, Busan drivers ranked the lowest in a national survey for driving behavior. But if we practice good driving etiquette, we can all become gentler beings. Here are two things to keep in mind. First up, when you're changing lanes, make sure to use your blinker. And second, although I do love getting text messages from all of you, don't text and drive. That's a no-no. Good driving etiquette equals safety for all. This campaign is brought to you by Morning Wave in Busan on BEFM. Oh, by the way, tune in to Morning Wave in Busan to get real-time traffic updates. You know your morning commute's better with me, Kat.
보이스피싱 전화 올 땐 전화 끊고 확인하기. 택배 주소 오류 사기, 인터넷 주소 클릭 안 돼.
늘 의심하고 꼭 전화 끊고 또 확인하고
보이스피싱에 눈을 뜨며
예방책이 보입니다.
공익광고협의회.
The time is now 3 o'clock.
You're listening to Steve Hatherly Reboot on BEFM 90.5. That was Sophie Ellis Baxter, Murder on the Dance Floor, and that song became Sophie Ellis Baxter's greatest hit internationally. It was the most played song of 2002 in all of Europe. That's cool. It also went platinum in Australia, where it peaked at number 3, staying in the top 50 for 20 weeks. I just noticed something. When I say Australia, do I say Australia with an Australian accent? I don't say England. Why do I say Australia? Why do I say it like that? That's weird. Anyway, this song is about underhanded dance competition tactics, and it was written by Ellis Baxter with the American singer and songwriter by the name of Greg Alexander. Alexander was the mastermind behind the New Radicals' You Get What You Give, if you remember that song. Won a Grammy for that. Also won a Grammy for co-writing the Game of Love for Santana in 2003. Fun little dancey tune to get us into the second hour of Steve Hatherly Reboot on this Thursday afternoon. Thanks for staying with me. Thanks for hanging around. You're tuned in on BEFM 90.5 in Busan, 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Zhongguan, and Noksan areas, in Seoul on TBS EFM 101.3, and in Gwangju on GFN 98.7. Coming up in the second hour today, fun fact of the day. We're going to go way back in history to see what was the hot fashion trend at the time. Not talking about the 1950s, 60s, 70s. No, we're going back even further. And for our fun fact of the day, it used to be fashionable. Napidi had said that he had heard about this briefly, but I had never heard of this before. It used to be fashionable to have black teeth in Japan. People would take extreme measures to blacken their teeth, as a matter of fact. They would mix things together and then rub it on their teeth so to make them black. I had never heard of that before. Maybe you haven't either, and that'll be our fun fact of the day. Then for Hatherly's Hather List, which will come after that, we're going to stick with that kind of general theme of fashion and appearance and attractiveness for the list segment today. Strange fashion trends from throughout history. And again, we're going way back to times that are not even close to now. And there's some interesting things on that list to kind of make you kind of smile or chuckle a little bit too. We'll have perfect playlist also in the second hour. We've got the best songs for the best situations. We've got January songs for the theme this week. And I'll check your messages throughout the program as well. All right, my question for you today: what is one fashion change or appearance change that you want to make in 2024? 2024년 여러분의 패션 중에서 바꾸고 싶은 것 하나는 무엇인가요? Let me check some of your answers. Andy, the Juicy Preacher, is listening today. He says, opening up your message, it's suit related. Andy says, well, I'm looking for a new IT look. I've been wearing suits, full suits, since the beginning of my career. But since I'm launching my own startup, I will want to wear some more appropriate clothing. The problem is I don't have any smart casuals, and I have no idea what to get in order to look like an IT. Oh, am I reading that wrong? Andy, is it look like an IT guy or IT guy? I was reading that as IT guy, and I was like, wait, isn't yours a consulting firm? But maybe it's a computer consulting firm. Maybe you're talking about like an IT guy, like a cool guy. Let's see. Smart fashion. Well, first of all, on the topic of suits, it's one of the, I have a long list of things I love about being a radio announcer. Number one on that list is hanging out with you guys every day and just talking about random stuff. But maybe a very close second or third, honestly, is that there's no dress code to being a radio announcer. Comfort takes precedent. And I am all about, I set that precedent a long time ago, and I had not changed it. So I love the fact that I don't have to wear a suit to work every single day. I don't know how you deal with the dress shoes. You know, ladies' shoes, like high heel shoes, I've heard are extremely uncomfortable. And the only advantage is they look nice. But I'll tell you, men's dress shoes are not comfortable either. They're awful. And I'm very happy that I don't have to wear them every day. How do you look? How can you look better without, I don't know, like how about this, Andy? Just blue jeans, a dress shirt with a cool tie, or sometimes no tie, and a blazer. That'll make it nice and simple, right? So you just get a few more blazers, various colors, and then some cool blue jeans. You can go online shopping for blue jeans if you want. That'll look like smart casual. You know what I mean? You'll look like a businessman, but you won't look like, it'll be more on the Steve Jobs maybe side of things. As opposed to wearing a full suit every day. Thanks for the message, Andy. Let's see. Oh, there's going to be some ear piercings this evening. That's exciting. Hannah and Cherish might be getting their ears pierced at the same time. Cherish says, in 2024, I want to have a second ear piercing so that my earrings will not be lonely. But honestly, I've been contemplating doing it. So maybe I'll do it tonight. That's cool. Hannah says, I also want to get my ear re-pierced. One side has closed off, so I can only wear an earring on one ear. Isn't that weird? That happened to me, too. I had two earrings before when I was, 24, 25, 26? And the problem was, when I took them out, I feel like it was within minutes, the skin would grow over. So I just kind of gave up. But actually, if I still feel my ear, I had one in the bottom, one in the lobe, and then one in the, what do you call that? Like the cartilage part of your ear, the upper part of your ear. I had one up there as well, but they would both grow over immediately. But if I touch that area, I can still feel where like the little tunnel is inside. So I know what you mean, Hannah. Yeah, go on. Go and do it with Cherish. Get your ears pierced. Why not? Hannah also said, I want to get in shape and be more fit. I need to gain more muscle, but it's so hard to do. Then I can fit into the clothes that I had. Yeah, very nice. Get some more muscle. The cool thing about keeping the clothes that you used to fit into, though, maybe like getting a new wardrobe again, right? And you can also use that as motivation, I guess. For me, you said it's hard to gain more muscle. For me, it's actually easy to gain muscle because I'm so thin naturally. And by the way, if you know me, you know I'm not bragging because being the skinny guy, I hated it when I was a kid. But it's actually easy. The problem is maintaining that muscle. Because I'm naturally thin, you know, there's three or four different body types for human beings, and one of them is kind of the tall, skinny type of body. Well, that's mine. So if I stop going to the gym, it's like a balloon when the air comes out, and it's so annoying. So it's easy to gain muscle for me, but it's so easy to lose it as well. That's one of the hardest parts about going to the gym for me. I can get that muscle. It's just I don't want to keep going to the gym like all year. You know, a few months here and there, it's cool, but going all the time, it's tough to do. It's tough to maintain. Thank you for your message, Hannah, and also Cherish, and good luck. Yeah, go get your ears pierced tonight. Why not? I texted in the group chat that I want to do, I don't know why I feel like this. I just want to do something extreme. And I don't know what that is. Hannah asked me, how extreme do you want to go? I don't know. We got another message today from Always Trust that says, I want to go goth or old-fashioned punk style with a kind of Iroquois hairstyle that would be a little bit daring, but quite a refreshing change at the time. Should I go goth? Can you imagine that? Should I come in with black painted fingernails and maybe some darker eyeliner? Should I? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm sure, Always Trust, it would look fantastic on you. But for me, I don't think that's the kind of extreme I'm looking for. I don't know. You can text me and let me know. What do you think? Would I look good with a goth style? Maybe some black lip liner? Who knows? Ben says long padding and mufflers aren't really fashionable in Central Europe, let alone mask wearing at all, if not because of COVID-19. Then for the fine dust and smog protection, any advice? Is the long padding, is that only here? Is that only a thing in Asia? I mean, if not, Ben, introduce it. People need to know. I was anti-long padding for a long time until I got one. And then I realized I was the stupid one. And I think, in Europe, I guess it's usually like football managers that wear those things, right? Or football players on the side of the pitch. Just try to introduce it yourself and see if you can gain a following. I don't know. Masks, I think just wear a mask if you want to. You don't need anyone's approval for that. That's about your health and safety, right? Anyway, awesome answers. Keep them coming in and tell me if I should go full goth in 2024. 2024년 여러분의 패션 중에서 바꾸고 싶은 것 하나는 무엇인가요? Text me, #sharp 9050. That's for 101 on your cell phone. Add us on Kakao Talk for free. Send messages for free. Search BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. Same search on your smartphone. You can add the app at any of the app stores. Listen to our programs there and leave us a comment after logging in. All right. Expression for today from King the Land. And in this scene, they are in an elevator, 3 people together. And in the elevator, the assistant, so the 3 people are the assistant who is standing in the front of the elevator, then the hotel heir and his new girlfriend, the woman who works at the hotel, the young hotel employee, because in the previous episode, they kissed finally. So their relationship is now official. But nobody at work knows about this. So the assistant to the hotel heir, he's standing in the front, and then behind him is the new couple. But they're not really showing that they're a couple, but they're really happy, right? You can just see how happy they are. So the assistant turns around and he says this.
우리 집 반달인데 맛이 갔는데.
Little difficult to hear, I apologize. So let's go through it. He said, 눈이 지금 반달인데 맛이 갔는데. Okay, 눈이 지금 반다른데 맛이 갔는데. All right, so 눈, let's go through it from the beginning. 눈 means your eyes. 지금 means now. Then 반달. 반 means half. You've seen this at the chicken restaurant, right? When you can get the half spicy and half not spicy. 반반. 반 means half. And 달 means moon. So half moon. Oh, okay. Wait. 눈, your eyes. Now, 지금, 반달, half moon인데. Your eyes look like a half moon. Okay, let's come back to that. Then the second part. 맛이 갔는데. 맛이 갔다. All right, so let's try to translate this. Today, it's a little bit tough. The translation for 눈이 지금 반다른데 is you're grinning from ear to ear. And now I understand the half moon comment. So when you smile, when you super smile, not just smile, when you mega smile, then your eyes kind of close a little bit, right? And when your eyes close, then they look like the shape of a half moon. So when somebody is super, super smiling, then you can say, 눈이 지금 반다른데, your eyes are the shape of a half moon. What a cool expression. That doesn't translate literally to English, but that's a cool expression in Korean, don't you think? Anyway, the translation in English, you're grinning from ear to ear. This is a fun expression too. So think about the corners of your mouth. And when you smile, the corners of your mouth go up, right? When you mega, mega, mega smile, then the corners of your mouth go even further up your face. So we have an expression, you're grinning. Grinning means smiling from one ear to the other ear. You're grinning from ear to ear. 눈이 지금 반다른데, 반달이에요. That's a cool expression, both in English and in Korean. Now, the next part, I don't think I fully 100% understand this. So if somebody wants to help me out with this and text me and maybe give me a good English translation, I'd appreciate it. I was talking with Na PD, and he said you can use this expression 마시갔는데 마시갔다 in some different situations. You can use this expression to mean like you look weird. You can use this expression to mean you look crazy. You look tired. Napidi searched on the internet, and he found a translation as you look knackered. Knackered is a slang term for tired. So that's why I thought, I don't really understand. Like, you look weird, you look crazy, you look tired all together? So if anybody wants to text me and help me out with this one, I'd appreciate it. The translation on the screen, on the flick, said, you look crazy. So I guess because he's smiling from ear to ear, it's like, oh, what's going on with you? You look strange. You look a little bit weird. And I think you look strange is an okay sentence to use for 마시갔다, 마시갔는데 as well. All right, so one more time in English, you're grinning from ear to ear. You look crazy. In Korean, 눈이 지금 반다른데 마시갔는데.
눈이 지금 반달인데 맛이 갔는데.
Good expressions, right? In English and in Korean. Hopefully that helps out your language skills. We'll have a break, and when we come back, we'll talk fashionable black teeth in Japan. It's not a thing anymore, but it used to be a long time ago. Here's Toby Romeo and You Not Us, What It Feels Like.
Tell me what it feels like when you're
That was Toby Romeo and You Not Us with What It Feels Like. And now it's time for our fun fact of the day. And we get into our old school fashion talk. This I had never, ever heard of before. The title is The Allure of Blackened Teeth, a traditional Japanese sign of beauty. It's called ohaguro. If my pronunciation is wrong, I apologize, which may be translated as blackened teeth. And it's a practice in which people, they say usually women, dyed their teeth black. And while that custom was known to be practiced in different parts of the world, including Southeast Asia, the Pacific Islands, Islands, and even South America, they say that it is most commonly associated with Japan. It is undeniable that traits deemed attractive and beautiful are often dictated by a society, and until the end of the 19th century, black teeth were regarded as a sign of beauty in Japan. It was more than just a sign of beauty. It served different purposes as well. So this is how they did it. The traditional method for obtaining black teeth through the practice of ohaguro involves the ingestion of a dye in a drink. To create the dye, iron fillings are first soaked in tea or sake with vinegar. When the iron oxidizes, the liquid would turn black. The taste of the dye is said to be harsh, hence spices were added to it. And they would add things like cinnamon and cloves, and that would change the flavor of it to be a little bit more, I suppose, palatable. That dye would then be consumed, and that's what would cause the drinker's teeth to turn black. And in order to keep them black, the process would be repeated once a day or once every few days. And the results seem to have been permanent, as there are skeletons from particular periods in time whose teeth are still black due to the practice of the ingestion of that black liquid. Interesting, isn't it? It's unknown when and how this practice began. Nevertheless, it became popular at some point during the period of the 8th to 12th centuries, and during that time, it was the aristocrats, especially its female members, who practiced dyeing their teeth. This practice caught on because it complemented another symbol of beauty during that period. It's hard to believe these days, right? Because we think of white teeth as the symbol of mouth perfection, so to say. But apart from black teeth, white faces were another desirable trait during that period. Unfortunately, the white makeup, which was made from rice powder, it could potentially cause a person's teeth to look yellower than they actually were. So to overcome that problem, women painted their teeth a contrasting, eye-catching black. And when a person's teeth were shown, an illusion is created in which a wide smile is presented without seeing the teeth at all. Interesting, right? So I guess, yeah, it created this very stark contrast with the extremely white painted face and then the blackened mouth, and this was a symbol of beauty at the time. It changed over time. It came to a point where they realized, okay, maybe we want to go with a different style. A new trend in Japan came around, was to keep them white. It was endorsed, they say, in 1873 when the Empress of Japan herself appeared in public with a dazzling set of white teeth. And of course, if the Empress of Japan shows up with sparkling white teeth, everybody wants them. After that, white teeth were regarded as a mark of beauty, and that blackening trend completely died off. It lost its appeal among the Japanese population and eventually completely died out among the general public in Japan. However, it still can sometimes be seen in certain quarters in Kyoto, but for the most part, the tradition is only used these days in movies or in plays or artistic performances of some sort. But yes, that is our fun fact for today. It used to be the thing to do in Japan to dye your teeth black. It was a sign of beauty. That's our fun fact. When we come back, we'll get into Hatherly's Hather List, and we'll continue on with our theme of strange, wonderful, unique. I don't know. It depends on your opinion, I suppose. But fashion trends and appearance trends from days a long, long time ago. Here is Ollie Murs. I Hate You When You're Drunk. Polymers, I hate you when you're drunk. And now it's time for Hatherly's Hather List. And we're going to talk about some strange fashion trends from throughout history. It's interesting, isn't it? You know, if we think about culture to culture, well, fashion trends are very different. What's fashionable here in Korea? And Ben was talking about it already, right? Ben's going to be moving to Europe, has got a big 2024 move coming up for work. And Ben, even in the group chat today, was asking about, long paddings and mufflers aren't really fashionable in Central Europe. And then I suggested, well, just wear it anyway. Who cares? And Ben replied by saying, yeah, but for outward appearances, it can get you severely ostracized, as was the case with mask wearing at the beginning of the pandemic in the United States. Yeah, right? So fair point. People are super judgy, aren't they, when it comes to fashion? You ever think about that? It's so context appropriate as well, right? For example, if you go to the beach and you wear a bikini, or if you wear a swimsuit with no shirt on, well, it's cool and nobody cares because you're at the beach. If you walk in downtown Centum area with that same style, people will stop and stare at you all day, won't they? I find that I've thought about that many, many, many times. Fashion is context appropriate at the time, and it's culture appropriate too. People all over the world are super judgy about their fashion, and it changes over time. And then what was fashionable before becomes fashionable again. It all has to do with society and personal taste. But today, we're not going back to the 1980s. We're not going back to the 1970s or even the 60s or the 50s or the 40s. We're going much, much, much further back to find out what was hot at the time. And we'll start with this. The ancient Greeks, they loved a unibrow. That is amazing. That was considered a power brow at the time. In ancient Greece, women's unibrows were considered a sign of intelligence and purity. If they didn't have a natural unibrow, women would use a pigment to draw one on for that very bold and very beautiful look. Oh, the unibrow. I don't know when that went out of fashion, but thank you. Whenever that was gotten rid of, I think maybe we were all appreciative. But in ancient Greece, that was a thing. And that's what looked really, really good. I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. In the Middle Ages, men's calves were the modern-day abs. Women's legs, of course, highly admired all throughout history. But back in the Middle Ages and well through the 18th century, men's calves were where it was all at. Men even wore stockings like women in order to show off their well-shaped calves, and some even wore padding inside their stockings to improve the unsatisfactory calves that they had on their bodies. Oh, they wore calf paddings. I've never said those two words together before. Is that still a thing? King Henry VIII, for example, was known for his excellent calves. Although I think we can still argue today, right? If a person has nice calves, that's looked at as an important thing. But I don't think it's known as a status symbol or anything like that. This is interesting. In the 18th century, the previous standard of bare-faced women disappeared, and women began wearing heavy makeup, but they also started wearing beauty patches. This was a small piece of fabric that was adhered to the face, so they would stick it on a woman's face. And it was like a little piece of fabric, and it might have been in the shape of a star or a circle or a square. And then the placement on the face had a specific meaning as well. So if they placed the fabric around their mouths, well, that implied flirtatiousness. And one on the right cheek implied that the woman was married. So wherever the fabric was located on the face, that's what it was saying to the person who was looking at that face. It was kind of like a relationship status, like a Facebook relationship status being worn on your face at the time. Short teeth were essential during the Renaissance period. Yeah, short teeth were loved. People enjoyed a nice, big, gummy smile at that time in history. Not so much anymore, I suppose. Long fingernails were not a game in China. The Chinese have a long history of long nails, as a matter of fact. Both men and women from the Qing dynasty, they grew nails that were 8 to 10 inches long, and some women wore gold nail guards in order to protect their rather inconvenient manicures. Pretty cool, right? I've seen this one in pictures before, actually, especially the nail guards, like the golden nail guards. It actually looks kind of cool. It looks very royal, in my opinion. Anyway, yeah, this was a thing, 8 to 10 inches long. And this was to indicate that they were wealthy enough that they didn't need to labor with their hands. Instead, they had to rely on servants to do things like dress them and even feed them. But I guess it makes sense, right? If you grow your fingernails super, super long, you're showing people, I don't need to use my hands for anything. And if I don't need to use my hands for anything, well, then that must mean that I was super rich. Eyelashes. Maybe this will be, we're a little over time. This will be the last one I'll share with you. Eyelashes were not a thing during the Renaissance period. For European women during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, the plucking of the eyebrows was a thing to do. Eyelashes became symbols of an sexuality, if you will, and the fresh face was considered very attractive. So the brow plucking, that's not where they stopped. They plucked their eyelashes entirely. They would remove all of them. And I don't know if I've ever done that before. I mean, maybe if it's stuck in your eye, you might try to pull your eyelash out and then inadvertently pull one, and it's painful. So to do all of them, that's an unpleasant experience. Have you ever seen a picture, by the way? You can look at a painting. If you just go online and search that, Middle Ages, Renaissance, eyelashless or no eyelashes, it's kind of an odd thing. And when you see it, then you suddenly realize how important your eyelashes are to the look of your face. There are lots more on this list, but I will stop there for now. We'll have another break, and when we come back, we'll check out Perfect Playlist. That was Hatherly's Hather List for this afternoon, and here is Lena, What I Want. That was Lena with What I Want, and now it's time for Perfect Playlist. And if you need the perfect song for a particular situation, we have you covered. And our particular situation for the next 27 days is January. So this week's theme, songs about January. And we'll start today with Sting, January Stars. This track is all about a guy who meets a girl. They end up together, but she has to leave, and then he is left there waiting for her to come back. As the song progresses, we learn that despite his horoscope telling him that she would return, she is nowhere to be found, and it's getting warm outside again. If you've ever had someone disappear from your life and you've longed for them to come back, this is a reminder of those feelings of fading hope. After Sting, we'll hear Bing Crosby. This is called June in January. And this song goes into detail about even though the fact it's cold outside and snow is on the ground, Bing doesn't mind because he is in love. His being in love makes the cold, harsh January weather tolerable, and he begins seeing the snow as just lovely white flower blossoms. If you've ever been in love, then you know how you don't mind the weather or just about anything else because you're on cloud nine. Every song sounds amazing. Every food tastes delicious. Nothing could ruin that mood. Here are a couple of songs for you. Under the theme of songs about January, Sting, January Stars, Bing Crosby, June in January. Oh, what a classic voice. Such a crooner, huh? Bing Crosby, June and January, and then before that, Sting, January Stars. That will do it for Steve Hatherly Reboot for this afternoon. I had a lot of fun today. It's fun to talk about fashion from today versus fashion from a long time ago versus fashion that you want to change for yourself in 2024. Sasa on YouTube says, this year I want to wear brighter colors than I did before. Yeah, brighter colors are always a good move, I think. It doesn't matter about your skin tone. It just makes you look happier, I think. That's just my opinion. There's no scientific reasoning behind that. I Am Koi says, you can just wear whatever you want. Goth, punk, piercings, everything is okay as long as you feel cozy and if you're happy. Totally agree. Whatever you want to wear. Just be comfortable, be yourself, and that will bring out your confidence, right? Ben also endorses my 2024 goth look. All right, starting tomorrow. Here you go. It's just going to be songs from Vampire Weekend and My Chemical Romance all day long. I'll be like, hey, how you doing today? Just full emo, yeah, for the rest of this year. Oh, this show would be canceled in about 5 minutes. Anyway, we're out of time. I got to say goodbye. Thank you very much for hanging out with me over the last couple of hours today. Thank you to Cheryl for today's Parenting 101. Thank you to you, as always, for your listenership and your participation. And we have a little surprise to play at the end of the show, right? When was it? Was it a few days ago? We got a message from Diana, who was a member of a group, saying, I'm in this music group. I play locally, and we've just put out our EP for 2024 or something like that, right? Something very, very exciting. And Diana, I hope you're still listening. Because I said a few days ago, maybe someday if we have a chance, we'll try to play your music. I'm not sure, Diana, if this is the first time that your group Aura Symphonic has been played on the radio or not. But if it is, Diana, then your music is about to be played in Busan and Seoul and Gwangju and all the surrounding areas. So congratulations on this. I'm going to be hearing this. Not PD arranged this, by the way, so I'm going to be hearing this for the first time as well. I've been your host, Steve Hatherly, and yes, I will leave you with this Aura Symphonic, and the track is called The Rising. Enjoy that. Have a wonderful day today, and we'll reboot again tomorrow.